Okay, so this is a cross-section through the spinal cord, and you're seeing a cervical vertebra. How did I know that? Bifid spinous process. But also over here on the side, this is the vertebral artery, which is a branch off of the subclavian artery, the second branch off of the subclavian, and it's traveling in the transverse foramen, which only the cervical vertebra had. Then you're seeing the centrum, or the body, here. And then obviously in the vertebral canal, you're seeing a section of the spinal cord. Now let's cover the meninges first. This outer meningeal layer, number 9 here, or 5 if it's upside down, right here, that's the dura mater. Then just next to it, number 16 here, is the arachnoid. And then the layer that's shown here in white, tightly adherent to the surface of the spinal cord, is the pia mater. The fat out here, outside the dura mater, that's in the epidural space, and that's where they would give you an epidural, the anesthesia, but lower, obviously, in the lumbar region once the spinal cord had been terminated or ended. So out here, this is the intervertebral foramen, and this is where your dorsal root and ventral root will merge to form a spinal nerve right out here. And then the spinal nerve can separate in the posterior primary rami or the anterior primary ramus. Right out here on the side, you're seeing a sympathetic ganglion, and it's being connected to the anterior primary ramus here by a gray communicating ramus. And if you're remembering lecture and you weren't actually asleep, you might be saying, well, where's the white communicating ramus? And we are in the cervical region, and there aren't any white in the cervical region, just gray. So any incoming action potentials would be routed through the dorsal root ganglion, this bulbous structure here, and then that would lead to dorsal rootlets, shown here as yellow little strings, and then ultimately it's going to terminate in the dorsal gray horn. Any outgoing command is going to be started in the ventral gray horn down here, and the axons exit as ventral rootlets and then would turn into a ventral root, which you can't really see because it's all wrapped up on this side, and then join as a spinal nerve, and then can either go into the posterior primary ramus or anterior primary ramus. On this side of the model, you can actually discern better the dorsal and ventral rootlets, and the dorsal root and the ventral root, shown here as number 17 or 77, 17 I guess it is. Why would it be 77 if it's next to 19 and 18? Okay. And then out here going through the intervertebral foramen, we would have a spinal nerve that again can branch into the posterior or anterior primary ramus. That's it.